Welcome to Convocation. We are so excited today to welcome back former Snow College student Kalee McCollaum. Kalee was one of my students. I know she was mainly in the art department, but she was one of my students, and she was a member of one of my favorite classes of all time that year. And so I'm really happy to be able to welcome her back. Let me tell you a little bit about Kalee. She is an artist with 4 years experience at WB Games Avalanche, as you can see up here. She has won an Academy Award in 2019 for the short film she directed titled Grendel. Now, I sent out a link to that in the email notifying you of her coming this week. How many of you had a chance to watch that? It's pretty cool. Okay, if you didn't get a chance, go back to that email and check it out. It's a lot of fun. We were talking a little bit before Convocation today, a little bit about the importance of storytelling, okay, in her work. She really focuses on that, as well as working with her colleagues, collaborating together to find solutions to problems that come up in their work. Outside of her job, she likes to travel. In fact, she traveled recently to Italy, one of my favorite places. But also she likes to travel locally. She likes watching movies and shows, playing video games, and taking care of her plants and 2 cats. Please welcome Kalee McCollaum to the stage.
Hello, everyone. I am so excited to be back here at Snow College. It's very nostalgic for me seeing all these places and all these people again. Turn this on. Okay. All right. So today I wanted to talk to you guys about opportunities and all of the opportunities you can be given and opportunities you can be gained throughout your experiences just in life generally. But you guys are in a really good spot here at the beginning of your careers in your college experience. So, opportunities. Opportunity is defined as a set of circumstances that makes it possible to do something. So, I guess that's pretty self-explanatory. You can do just about anything if you give yourself the potential to do it. So I'm going to talk more about that. So why are opportunities important? Opportunities don't guarantee you'll get where you're aiming for, but they give you the better the opportunities you have, the more likely you are to succeed. So the better opportunities that you create for yourself, the better chances you are at getting the things that you want from life. So, oh shoot, that's the wrong button. Okay, so there's a bunch of types of opportunities. There's knowledge opportunity that really pertains to what you guys are doing here at Snow College. You're gaining a lot of knowledge for your future. There's technological opportunity. That has a lot to do with knowledge. It's when you create something that can be patented. I keep hitting the laser button. You guys are gonna see laser. Then there's product that's intellect. Oh wait, sorry, this is the patent one. Technology is when you have something that's usually a product to accomplish something. Sorry, my bad. And then service or experience. This is things like people who provide a service, like doctors provide a service, a life-saving service, or waiters and waitresses provide service, bringing your food, etc. Lifestyle, this is more like tourism, hospitality, etc. I'm not going to go super into these. We're going to talk more about the knowledge. Oh, no. Sorry. And then physical resource. That's like when you own land that has minerals or agriculture products on it. But anyway, I would like to, and trading and commodity. Yeah, trading, middleman stuff. Fun stuff. But I want to focus more on knowledge opportunities because that, I feel like, is the one with the most potential. You don't need to have a lot beforehand to be able to achieve this. This is based on your own ability to make yourself learn, which is very important and will gain you a lot of, help you to create your own opportunities later in life, or even currently. So, let's see, oops. Oh yeah, so 2 types of things. Opportunities can be given. Those are like opportunities that you're lucky to have. And then opportunities can be created, and that's the one I want to focus on more, because I believe it's possible to create any opportunity you want from life if you work hard enough. Why is that? Is it working? Okay. Did I skip one? Is this? I don't think this is working, actually. Maybe. Oh no. Professor Brodero? Yeah, there's a slide that's missing here, I think. Which direction do I point this? Yeah, it's... Sorry, just a moment. Let's see. Well, I think there's one before that. Yeah, this one is supposed to have a bunch of stuff on it. I might just have to make hand gestures for you guys. Okay, no, that's okay. Okay, well, I was going to show you a bunch of work that I made while I was here at Snow College, but unfortunately, Sorry. No, there's a Snow and then there's a BYU. Yeah, so this one, yeah. I mean, there's one next. Well, I'll show that in a second. But yeah, anyway, so while I was at Snow College, I experimented a lot with like all of the opportunities that are available for you guys here. I took a lot of art classes. I tried the best that I could to learn all of the techniques that the professors were trying to teach me while I was here. Just trying to perfect my art because like, okay, I'm gonna speak, this will apply to a lot of different things, but I'm gonna focus on it in the art sense because that was my experience. So I knew coming here that I needed a really good foundation with my art. And if I had a good foundation, I could build anything on that foundation wherever I went with it. So I spent a ton of time learning everything my teachers were trying to teach me. I was, like, even if it didn't feel like it pertained to me, I still like tried my hardest with the assignment to like get the good grades that meant I had come away with some understanding of the class. So I kind of developed a really good work ethic while I was here of like spending the time that each project needed to become the best that it could possibly be. So when Snow College offered the first 3D animation class I think you guys ever offered, I was so excited because I was very interested in that. And so I took the class and fell in love right away. And so looking around at my future after Snow College, I found that BYU Animation was the best program for my experience and my situation in life and everything. It was like one of the world's most renowned animation classes or programs, and it was very small. Only 25 students were accepted every year of, at the time, I think it was like 75 to 125, give or take, applications. So it was like 1/3 to 1/4 acceptance rate, very difficult to get in, and like transfer students were even harder to get in. So I knew that it was gonna be really hard for me, and you could only apply twice. So I gathered together all of my best work from Snow College. I also found that like, they were like, yeah, you also need to apply with a 2D animation assignment and a 3D animation example. And they listed like a Lego project because that's what they always created in their beginning classes. And so I was like, okay, I'll create a Lego project and I'll learn how to 2D animate. I have no idea how. So, and I had like a month and a half to do that in. So I just spent a ton of time. I used the tools that the art program had here, just like rigged a light board that they had to work with, like having papers in the right spot so I could flip between them. And I made a really, like really bad Lego project and a really bad like flour sack animation. But I think that they showcased more like that I was willing to learn, even though I didn't have necessarily a lot of resources. It's great though that you guys have like a 2D animation class now. Like that's so, or it is fully 2D, right? Yeah. So cool that you guys have that opportunity. Take advantage of it. That's really excellent opportunity here. But yeah, so I did find another thing that I created just for like fun on the side. I don't think I use this for any of my other assignments. I don't know if this will play if I click it. It might just skip past it. Oh no. Okay, never mind. Okay. I'm so sorry. I would love to show you it, but I can't. Okay, so, but basically, like, my 2D animation skills, I had never done much with it. Like, I could draw a picture, and I could, like, I learned how to shade very well here, but, like, making things move was very difficult. So that was a huge learning experience where I forced myself to learn, and that opportunity to make myself learn that instead of just waiting to take the classes from BYU gave me so many opportunities in the future because I learned how to learn and I continued to apply that while I was at BYU. So yeah, I got accepted to BYU, and that was like thrilling, exciting, but I was like, man, okay, I've got to get right back down to work. I've got to I cannot believe I've gotten this opportunity to learn here at BYU with all of these amazing professors, all these amazing resources here. So I started up right away again. Oh, it's working now. Okay. So I started creating right from the get-go and started working really hard on all my projects. And what was really great was all of my classmates and myself were very competitive. So we wanted to one-up each other with every single one of our assignments. We would be given a simple assignment like make an animation of a face moving. And we would make the face and we'd animate it, but then we'd also color it and we'd like figure out how to do hair, and then we'd figure out how to make the hair like move with the character. We would do things, like these were all above and beyond the assignments that we were given. So because of that, we learned so much more than previous years. So that gave us the opportunity that when it came down to choosing our senior film, we were able to pick one that was extremely, that had a scope and a scale that was beyond anything BYU had ever done before. And that is Grendel. So Grendel. Grendel is 8 minutes long. It's got 3 main characters, and then it's got a crowd of Vikings. So that's a lot of characters. It's got a huge exterior environment along with several interior environments. So BYU had never done a film that was this long, had this many characters, this many environments, this scale. It was ridiculous. But when we were picking the film that we were going to do, we knew that we could do it because of the opportunities we had created for ourselves earlier in all of our assignments, just pushing things beyond. We already knew how to do a lot of the stuff we'd have to do. It was just a matter of time. So yeah, we got started, and I mean, it was such a fun experience, and I was picked as director, which going into BYU, I didn't think I would ever be a director. I thought it could be cool, but I hadn't really thought it was possible for me. But then through all of these classes, when me and my classmates were being competitive with each other, we were all learning a lot, but I particularly came to my classmates' minds when they were thinking of who would be director. They knew that I was a hard worker. They knew I'd help people. That was also another opportunity. If someone needed help on something, I would help them and make sure they understood it. So I wasn't trying to block anyone else's growth. I was helping everyone. So they knew I would help people. They knew I would communicate. And they also knew that I had like all of the artistic knowledge and skills to be able to critique well as a director. So that was opportunities I created for myself in that way as well. And yeah, it was so much fun. I love these people. These are all the people that I worked with on this film. I mean, it's not all the people, it's a group of people. This was during dailies when I was giving a critique on one part of the film or something. And yeah, it was like, this was one of the most fun times of my life, but it was also the most stressful time. I definitely overworked myself. I was terrified of presenting. I was such an introvert, but like up to that point. And I got to the point where I was presenting and I'd start stuttering. I've never stuttered before or since in my life. It was the most frustrating thing I've ever experienced. But I mean, it was good. It was well worth every minute, and I'm so happy I put myself through that, like, to create that. I also want to note that during this time, me and my friends were kind of stupid, and we decided while we were making our senior film, we'd also work on a secret project for a band called AJR, and we created a music video for them. It's turning out, maybe some of you have seen it. I'm not going to show it today, but you're welcome to go look it up later. It's on YouTube. Yeah, it's like a little 3-minute animation that me and 2 of my best friends who were also working on the senior film made during the course of a single year while we were also making Grendel. And then I also got a Disney internship during that time of both of those things and made another 1.5 minute animation for Disney, which was also the first intern film, short film that they released. They make short films before their movies a lot of the time, but those are created by the professionals that are working there. They had never released the student intern films before our year. So that was a ton of work as well. So, but like we didn't want any one of these opportunities to go because we knew if we did these things, it would give us so many more opportunities. We'd be creating so many more opportunities for ourselves if we took the chance to do these things all at the same time. It's crazy. I would never do something like that again. But yeah, at the time it made sense. So yeah, we submitted Grendel we finished Grendel 6 months after I graduated. We finished it and we submitted it to all sorts of film festivals and like award programs, thinking that we knew that it was special. So we were like, okay, yeah, we're gonna win tons of awards for this thing. And we sent it out and we weren't getting anything back. Like the entire season where like you're supposed to hear back from the awards, it was just dead silent. And we were like, oh, our film is kind of bad, I guess. Like we thought it was amazing and we were so confused about it. But we were like, okay, no one likes it, but that's okay. It was well worth it to us. But then one day I got a call from Sean Guthrie from the Academy saying that our film had won an award and that we needed to come to California to accept it. So yeah, I went to California for a week of festivities hosted by the Academy, which was also, so we created the opportunity with Grendel, creating Grendel as epic as it could be. And then the Academy loved it enough that they accepted it and gave us an award. And then they gave us a week of festivities at the Academy where we met so many film creators, like so many directors, so many actors, so many other people within the industry that we could make connections with. And I still have connections with some of those people. And it's just like one of the coolest experiences, and I still get emails from the Academy all the time, and it's honestly kind of annoying. Like, not really, just kidding, please don't. No. I love the Academy emails. It's a lot of emails, and there's so many more opportunities every time. I just have to like accept it and look into it if I want. So like that was a huge thing that created so many more opportunities for me. And we happened to win the gold medal, because there was a you win an Academy Award if you go to these things, but it's a matter between the bronze, silver, and the gold. And we won the gold, and that was so exciting. And that's my team up there with me at the acceptance speech. And that was just the gold crown for me, because this was like all the other awards, they were great, they were nice, but the Academy Award was the one that we wanted to get. And so we thought when all the other awards came in and we were like, nah, yours isn't, it's not good enough for our stuff. We thought the Academy would never accept our stuff, but then it turned out they loved it. But, so anyway, just to finish up, yeah, I'm a big believer that you can create your own opportunities. You have so many chances to now. And like opportunities will be given to you sometimes, but you really have to put yourself in the position to be given those opportunities. You have to create them for yourself. And I fully believe that you guys can do that in every aspect of your life. So, thank you. Still on, I think.
Okay. Now we have time for some questions. Let's hear what you guys want to say. Let's bring the house lights up maybe a little bit. And I would like you to wait. Raise your hand if you have a question and wait until I bring the microphone to you so we can all hear what the questions are. Who would like to ask a question? Yes.
So I loved what you shared about the creating your own opportunities, and what have you done like moving forward and creating opportunities for yourself with I guess animation and just other art aspects?
Since I finished Grendel?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, that's a good question. No, so opportunities since then. I mean, I keep working on. Ooh. So yeah, I continue to work on my own animation projects and artistic projects. They're kind of for my enjoyment, but they're also for future portfolio pieces that I want to add. So that's like a little opportunity that seems kind of obvious, but like absolutely should be worked on. Other opportunities, yeah, I mean, so at Hogwarts Legacy, which is I don't know if I mentioned, it's the video game that I'm working on at Warner Brothers Avalanche. It's that one, I had a lot of opportunities there, I think, to create my own. Because, yeah, there was a point where, like, an example would be, there was a point where someone needed to learn how to generate rivers and generate waterfalls. And no one on my team knew how to do it, and so I was like, well, I guess I can take like a little bit to like learn how to do that. So yeah, I did that, and that was under the assumption though that everyone on my team was going to learn that, but no one else did. So that was kind of what I became like the go-to person for. So I became very fundamental to the game because of that. Yeah, and honestly, that attitude of like learning those things and learning things that my coworkers didn't want to learn made it so that I was like, I mean, there was, so this was a point where Avalanche was hiring a ton of interns, but they didn't really have the budget to hire them full-time. So I was one of the people that was chosen to be hired full-time fairly early on. So that was an opportunity that I gained that, like, I had a lot of friends that weren't hired full-time. So yeah, that's an example, like a real-world example where it's very important to create that type of opportunity for myself, I guess. I'm trying to think of any other huge ones. Yeah, I mean, I think that's the best example. I'm sorry. If you want to talk more about that afterwards, I can talk about like things that have like honestly zero to do with animation and all that, but yeah, I don't know. I hope that answers your question. Okay, excellent.
So there are a lot of different art majors in here from varying fields. What is your biggest piece of advice to actually breaking out into the professional scene?
Create a lot of projects, and your classmates are not who you're competing against. You're competing against professionals. So yeah, like it's scary because you look at the professional, like, I mean, so when we were creating Grendel and like when I was creating like all of my projects, like all of the assignments we were working on, I was like, our goal was to be like, could this compete with Pixar? Could this compete with Disney animation? Like, and to be honest, 90, probably, okay, maybe not 90, I don't know. I'm really harsh on myself when it comes to my art. So like, I wanna say 90% of my art would never meet anything Pixar has done. But that was still the goal. That was the goal, was to learn how would Pixar be able to make this look? How can I get my work as close to how a professional studio makes it? Pixar, DreamWorks, all those guys. So yeah, the people you are competing against are not your colleagues here at Snow College. You need to look at professionals, and you need to make a ton of work, keep practicing, and compete with the professionals.
So when you are set as the director, it is your, I have to ask this. This is something I actually have been wondering for a long time. It's really hard when someone else, because you're working with a team of artists that have their own individual opinions, and they have their own thoughts of how they think something would be most beautifully expressed. But when you think, and as the director, you've been placed in that position where your say is the last say. How do you manage it so that you choose what should be?
How did I choose the direction, and my classmates agreed with it and would go along with it, basically?
Well, essentially, yes, because you have to make sure that every artist is not ignored, because they might be right, and you might be wrong.
Yeah, so that's a very good question. That, I think, was a relationship that was developed between me and my classmates where we trusted each other. I knew what I was doing really well. I knew a lot, like, I had a very good understanding of every part of the animation process. So I knew what I was asking each artist to do. And I had reasons for why I wanted, like, I was like, it needs to be this way because of this. Me and my two good friends that I trusted very well, we went through over Grendel's storyline so many times, and we're like, what's his motives? Why is he doing this? This motive doesn't make sense. Why would he do this in this moment? We need to change that up, or we need to make it obvious what his motives are before that, so this moment makes sense. So like, it was a matter of, I knew what I was talking about, and I had reasons. So I'd be like, this can't be this way because of this reason. Not just because like, I hate this. This goes towards like, it's like funny, it's like a parenting thing as well. When they're like, do what I say, like don't ask questions. No, you tell them why, and they'll understand why. Whether or not they agree with it, they know why you want to do it. And they can understand that you have a vision, and your vision makes sense. Whether or not they think visually it's whether or not they fully agree with it, they can understand why you want it and agree with it to that extent to be willing to accomplish what you're asking them.
What was your process of application to Warner Bros. Games?
Warner Brothers? That was an opportunity that was given. Like, they came to BYU to present, like BYU just had studios come regularly, and they were looking for interns, and I had a very good portfolio. I already had a portfolio that was built earlier in the year, and so like they were like, yeah, we're looking for environment artists. And I was like, okay, cool. Yeah, here's my portfolio. I think it was very, I don't recall it being like a very, like I think I emailed my portfolio to one of them. So it wasn't even like an official process I went through. So I emailed it to them and they interviewed me once and then I got in. Like they were just, it was very early on in the project and they needed a lot of help. So they were just they were hiring a ton of interns just at the time, just a lot. So like getting in was pretty easy. It was getting the job, like the full-time hire, that was a bit harder. And that was just a matter of, I mean, it could be a bit a matter of luck depending on the department you were in, but my department needed help and I was a good worker, so they wanted to keep me, so yeah.
Okay, so my question is, what would you say are your top 3 defining moments from here at Snow through completing Grendel?
Through top 3 defining moments? Well, defining in what way? Like character building or like career defining? Career? When I accepted being a director was a huge career defining moment. Let's see. I mean, applying to BYU and getting in was hugely career defining as well. I don't know where I'd be if I hadn't gotten into BYU. And now, let's see. I mean, yeah, working at Warner Brothers as well. That was because, yeah, it was kind of bad timing for me, honestly, when they were like, yeah, we want you to come work. Because they offered me the job before I graduated. And I was like, well, I haven't finished Grendel. I've got to like work on it for 6 more months. And also, I'm exhausted. I was so tired at that point. And I still hadn't finished Grendel. But I started work there. But yeah, that's absolutely like where I am at now. I've learned so much because I was fully in film before that. So moving into games made me learn a lot and also like made me be like, okay, that's interesting about games. I don't like that. But film could do things better in this respect. Like, so it's yeah, those 3 things have been very career defining, I would say. Yes.
So like right after you did Grendel, like what other projects did you do with like the Warner Bros. Games?
What other projects at Warner Brothers Games or
Yeah.
generally?
Like ones that you like started working on after you did Grendel?
Yeah, so I've been working on the same project at Warner Brothers for the past 4 years. So it's just been that one project. Yeah. Just Hogwarts Legacy, it's a huge game.
How do you avoid burnout?
I don't know that I did. 'Cause I mean, well, yeah, it's hard because while I was working on Grendel, I definitely did not avoid burnout. And also working on Hogwarts Legacy, there was a point where I was very burned out as well. But I mean, taking time off, like if you're going to avoid it, I couldn't do this while I was working on Grendel. So this is advice that I couldn't do based like for what I wanted to get done with Grendel in the time frame I had. But I mean, yeah, you need to have like potent time frames where you're just like fully relaxing, fully having fun, fully existing in that aspect of life that you find most enjoyable. So like during 2020 with COVID, it was kind of a burnout limbo type thing. Like I was so confused, everyone was so confused. How I reset myself was going on hikes to nature. 'Cause it started with like going on walks around the city and that was nice, but like getting fully out into nature and just like kind of forgetting about everything in the city, that was really nice and helped me to have a nice reset in that way. And I like traveling, but I understand that's very hard for students. So like, I don't want to make that, this is your solution is go travel the world. But yeah, I don't know. It's hard because with Grendel, there was definitely several points where I reached like a really hard burnout point, and I just had to keep working, and yeah, it's not fun. And I was like, after I finished Grendel, I don't think I touched art for like a year other than my work. I was playing video games, I was watching movies. I didn't want to touch art. Like, I was so done. So like, yeah, if you have to burn yourself out, give yourself time for a reset. Because I also like, what's the word? Basically picked on myself. I can't remember the right word, but like I was very upset that I wasn't creating art. I was like, I'm failing my past professors. I'm failing the fact that I got an Academy Award. Like, this is stupid. Like, why am I not creating art? But then, like, there was a point where I was like, I just need this time. And if I wasn't enjoying art, which has always been something I've had, is I always enjoy art. I still enjoy art, even though it's my job. I enjoy it, but I wasn't enjoying it at that time. So I just let myself have a break from it. So I think like the full breaks from art, or like from your profession, is good to get a little bit of a reset and then go back in.
Okay, I'm wondering if you can talk a little bit more about this idea and philosophy, really, when you came and you were here at Snow College to really put your heart into everything, even though it may not have been what you visualized yourself doing after you were done at Snow College, or, you know, at any point, because I think that's a pretty unique frame of mind. And how, like, where did that come from? How did you establish it? And how could we, what would you advise students, but also how can we as teachers help students to grasp that vision?
Yeah, that's very good. I don't know, like, I feel bad for you as the professors, because you can't force your students to want to do anything, which is it's the saddest thing, because you're like, I want you to succeed, why don't you try? Like, but yeah, so like, that's the hard thing with professors. I don't know that you can force that, but like, I think for me, it was actually a couple of setbacks that I had that kind of developed this attitude in my mind. So like, when I was in high school, I was the Sterling Scholar. I don't know if you guys know what that is, but it's like, it's a little competition basically where like, I was a Sterling Scholar for art. So like, they were basically like, yeah, this student's a really good artist and they also get good grades. We'll have them compete in this competition to see if they win the award for state artist or something. I forget, it's been a while. But and like, I grew up and I was like the best artist in my school, and it was fun. So or like one of the best artists. And so I was like, yeah, I got this in the bag. But then like, at the competition, there was a bunch of other really amazing artists and artists that were better than me. And then there were artists that were also richer than me. So they went to third world countries and did service there. And so like, it was like, I can't afford to do like service in a third world country. So like, and so like, that was the thing where like, I didn't win that, and I was really disappointed by that. And I was like, man, like, well, so yeah, anyway, I was disappointed by that. And then when I applied for Snow College, I also applied for an art scholarship, and I didn't get that, and I was really disappointed about that too. No, I was so disappointed. So like, I was like, man, I have to work so hard so I am the best, so that next time I apply somewhere, so like when I applied to BYU, I had this mindset was my biggest thing, was I was like, my application has to be so good that they'd be stupid to refuse me. Like, that was my mindset. Like, it has to be that good. So that's kind of the mindset I built to want to work hard. And I didn't know how all of the art classes and how all the art assignments might help me, but I figured my teachers knew what they were doing. I trusted them. They made amazing art. So I trusted them. So yeah, that was kind of the thing where I was like, I am gonna be the best. So yeah. I don't know that I necessarily achieved that everywhere. Not all of my art assignments were great, I'm sure. But I recall my cardboard chair was not very successful.
I'd like to thank Kalee for coming today. Please give her another hand.